What's good, everybody? Welcome to Coffee with Ken. Hopefully, the sound is coming through. Um, Out here by the waterfront today, and just enjoying the breeze. It's nice today, not hot. Figured I'd come down to the beach because I haven't been down here in quite a while. Well, I was down here yesterday actually, but I didn't come this far out. But I'm out by the jetty right now, and just getting my day started. You know, I want to talk to y'all though because other than all the bullshit that's going on in politics, now more than ever, a lot of people out here are trying to figure out how they're going to continue to make ends meet. You know, with sky high prices on literally everything. Um, I have a couple of friends of mine who are stuck in the rat race. You know, they always talk about wanting to do other things, wanting to improve their lifestyle, change their lifestyle, make more money, you know. But they've been saying that for years. And the problem is that none of them have been willing to take the steps towards improving their lives. They talk a good game, but none of them seem to want to do the hard work. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be hard work, it just has to be smart work. There are so many opportunities out here now to take control of your life, start your own business, create your own income. I've always, been self-employed in the entertainment business. I've also been involved in the trucking and logistics industry, and it's always been very lucrative because I always controlled my own narrative and my own destiny. And it takes a little bit of effort to run your business, but if you want to truly change your life, you got to do a few hard things. You're never going to become rich or wealthy working for someone else. It's not going to happen. If you want true financial independence, you have to own your own and do your thing to make it work. Find something that you love. Find something that think about what you're great at doing. What is it that you're great at doing that you love to do that you could possibly turn into an income? I'm sure you've had some ideas about doing this, that, or the other, but many people never get started. They never pursue their dreams, mainly because they're afraid. And not so much afraid of failing, but they're afraid of succeeding. I have literally met people over the years that were afraid to succeed. And I can never understand that. There's some kind of weird psychology going on that causes people to stunt their own growth, so to speak. Over the years, I've had many people come through my recording studios and through my offices, and they would talk about, you know, making a hit record, you know, touring and doing shows, but they never wanted to put in the work. They never wanted to invest in themselves. And that's been a major flaw that I've seen in a lot of people over the years. The unwillingness to invest in themselves. I personally have always been one to invest in me. And I've had other people invest in me over the years. As I was saying on a previous broadcast, nobody makes it in this world all by themselves. There's no such thing as a self-made anything. Because we all have help. We all need help at one point or another, whether it's financially or mentally, socially. We all need help doing something professionally. You know what I mean? But in any case, me personally, I was always willing to make the investment in me and take the risk on me. Because I always thought, how could you ask someone else to help you, or ask someone else to invest in you or take a risk on you, if you're not willing to take that same risk on yourself? And I've always been that guy to say, you know what? I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna prove the skeptics wrong. But if I need help, I'm gonna ask for help, because I got the goods to show. So, in any case, if you truly want to succeed in life, you have to be willing to invest in yourself. You have to be willing to take the risk before you can ask anybody else to take risk on you. Let me hold this, because it's kind of windy out here today, so I don't know if y'all can really hear me that well. But anyway, as I was saying, most people have a problem with investing in themselves, taking the risk, putting themselves out there to pursue their dream. And if you're not willing to take the risk, you're never going to be successful. You got to set goals, decide what it is that you truly want to do, and you got to love what you do. There's so many people working 9-to-5 jobs, and they're out here putting in 40, 50, 60 hours a week, sometimes 80 hours a week, doing nothing but making somebody else wealthy, making someone or helping someone else to achieve their dreams. One of the funniest things I used to hear all the time when I started my production business was that people would say, Ken, you need to get a real job. You're never going to make it. Get a real job. And I used to always wonder, what the fuck is a real job? What exactly is a real job? Because I'm sure there were times when somebody told Bill Gates to get a real job. I'm sure there were times when somebody told Elon Musk, get a real job. A real job is whatever you work at, whatever you put your heart into to achieve the level of success that you're looking for. Anything is a job. My job back then was music production. And I expanded into doing videos and artist management. And I grew my business into a pretty lucrative business. Now, I live stream and I podcast. And admittedly, I can do a lot more, but I purposely don't run this as a business at all. This is more of a hobby for me, you know? But if I wanted to, I could turn this into a very lucrative business. But fortunately, I'm able to enjoy my retired life right now. But I've had thoughts of taking Crazy Baby TV World to higher levels. I've thought about hiring other people to come on board, and help me build out a proper network. And I'm still thinking about it, and I still may do that. But what I'm trying to share with y'all today is that if you truly want to improve your life, change your lifestyle, you have to find what it is that you love, something that you're great at, and pursue that and do it. Take a chance. Now, later in this series, I'm going to be talking more about how I came into business, and how I grew my business. Because this was like 30 years ago when I started mine, a little over 30 years ago, actually. And things were much different way back then. We didn't have this. We didn't know what podcasting was or YouTubing or anything like that back then. We were still slinging cassette tapes out the trunk of the car. You know what I mean? And then digital music came along and pretty much wiped out the traditional record labels. But we adapted and we overcame and we continued to have success until I retired. I've been technically I've been retired for about the last 7 years, but officially just the last 3 years. And I was able to do that though because I pursued my dream. I pursued what I love, and I got to do all the things that I ever wanted to do. I've traveled the world, and I got to travel the world prior to starting my business. I spent almost 10 years in the military, in the Navy, before I got into the music industry. But nevertheless, I did what I wanted to do on my own terms. And it wasn't always great times. We had plenty of ups and downs over the years. Plenty of awesome people have come into my life and have gone out of my life. But I did it. And as I said before, I had a lot of help. We all get help, and no matter what we do. So, but I'm going to be sharing my exploits over the next few weeks because I see there's a lot of people out here who want to learn how to do their own thing. And I can share a lot of knowledge in that area. And these are things that apply to any business. Whether it's the music business, the trucking industry, or whatever business you decide to start. This digital media space is huge right now. It's huge. And what's crazy is I started Crazy Baby TV 18 years ago. 18 years ago, when nobody had any idea what online streaming was. I was live streaming with gear that was not built and designed for live streaming. I had very inadequate computer systems, regular old digital cameras that I figured out how to hook up And back then the internet wasn't nearly as developed as it is now, but there were minimal capabilities that allowed us to stream live video. Um, and I actually learned uh, from this Haitian radio broadcaster down in Lake Worth, Florida. They had an internet television station. First, first time I had ever heard of anything like that. And I was doing some production work for a good friend of mine who was also in the radio business, Miss Dawn Reese. Um, she's a jock over in Tampa right now. Haven't seen Dawn in a few years actually, but she's real good people. But she was the one that introduced me to the guys that had the internet TV station, and I thought, that's cool as fuck. I couldn't believe it because they had a small office, and they had, at the time they had a pretty powerful Windows. I think it was like a Windows. I can't remember what version of Windows was running back then. Think, probably about 15 years ago, what version of Windows was out. And they had a regular old video camera, a camcorder hooked up to the computer, and they were streaming live shows right from their office. It was cool as hell, and I thought, that's going to be some big shit one day. So it was soon after that I launched Crazy Baby TV. And then I was using the platform to promote artists that I was managing, and we would go around to different events, conferences, music festivals, and I was always behind the scenes back then. I never wanted to be on camera myself. I still don't like being on camera, but sometimes you just got to do the shit your damn self if you want it done right. But anyway, we filmed a lot of events, and then we would rebroadcast it on crazybabytv.com. Now we've expanded into crazybabytvworld.com today. But I knew way back then that this internet broadcasting thing was going to be big. I knew it. And I'm sorry that I didn't stay consistent, because I got out of the music business for a long time and I didn't do anything. And then the pandemic hit. The next thing you know, people were popping up all over Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. And eventually TikTok came out, and now internet broadcasting is the thing. It's driving the whole media scape right now. And I literally had to play catch up. And what I did, I invested in myself. Started buying gear, to do proper podcasting. I started researching the equipment that I really needed to be able to do this. And it's not a lot. I did go overboard with some of the gear that I bought just because I thought it was cool gear and I wanted to have it. But this is something that you can literally get into with only your smartphone. That's real. Because when you're broadcasting, nobody on the other side of this camera knows what you're using. These damn love bugs are all over the place. But nobody knows what kind of camera you're using unless you tell them or unless you show them. I started out streaming with this, my Galaxy S25 Ultra. And the cameras on this thing are amazing. Now I only use it for my business and note taking and all that. It's basically replaced my laptop. I do all my streaming now with uh, iPhone 17 Pro, and I have a gimbal, which is dope as hell. It's, I have the Hohem the iStudy M7 gimbal, professional gimbal, uh, which allows me to uh, basically work hands free. I don't need a cameraman actually. It has this little remote control. See the little camera on there? So I could actually get up and walk across the way and use this. There we go, it's in the shot to control my camera. And it's just a tool. It's not something that I actually needed. I just wanted it because it made my life easier when I'm out here broadcasting all by myself. But in any case, the thing is, the digital media space has allowed a lot of people to change their lives. Really. And when I started doing this, I was no professional broadcaster. I still don't consider myself a professional broadcaster. Damn sure not a journalist. I'm just a dude that had an idea, and I actually missed the opportunity when I got out of the business and I shut down for those few years. But now I'm back. Crazy Baby TV World is alive and well, and I'm going to use the platform to do bigger and better things. Not because I have to, but because I want to. Fortunately, I'm in a position where I can experiment a little bit, more than the average person. But if you're looking to get into digital media, podcasting, and things of that nature, check me out. Visit my website, www.crazybabytvworld.com. I do offer services now. Again, I will come out. I will be a camera crew if you need. I will help you set up your studio in-house or mobile if you need. I will consult you on what equipment to buy, and all the other tools that you may need or want. I can help you get it done. All right, so that's all I got today. No politics, no religion. I'm just going to sit out here and enjoy this weather. In fact, check it out. I want you all to, they're actually dredging out the inlet here and doing some work on the beach out here by the Jetty Park. And you see the tugboat sitting there. They're doing some serious work, so the actual beach is closed right now, so can't walk out on the sand. But it's a beautiful day. I'm going to enjoy it. I'll be back later with my regular bullshit. Stay tuned, y'all. I'm your man's Ken Jackson. This has been Coffee with Ken. I'm out. Peace.